Joker, directed by Todd Phillips, tells the story of Arthur Fleck, a man who suffers from mental illness who's trying to be a comedian and works as a clown. As he works his way into becoming a comedian by making people laugh, he only brings fear upon Gotham City with the wrongdoings that he does. Or are they wrong? I was skeptical going into Joker because Todd Phillips doesn't seem like a director who can handle this kind of position, this kind of movie, what the movie was going for, what people wanted to see out of this Joker movie. Because Todd Phillips directed the Hangover trilogy and a movie called Road Trip. It's kind of funny, and it's an old raunchy movie from 2000, I believe. But after watching the movie, after hearing all the buzz about it, I could give my take on it. And I can say this is a phenomenal film. I loved Joker so much. This movie is something else. It is mesmerizing. It is just something that I'm looking at, I'm thinking back on just after watching the movie about an hour ago, and it's something. And I can't wait to explain it to you guys in further detail. But first, let me get some cons out of the way. The only con I can really think of for this movie is the pacing. It's very slow. This is a really slow movie, and it's a character study essentially. It is a comic book movie the way people are looking at it, but Todd Phillips has said that the only inspiration he's taking from comic books is Joker. He's making his own origin story, and when you watch the movie, you can see what connections you can make with comic books or, the other stories into DC. But for now, this is a standalone Joker movie, and it has to work with the pacing. It has to work with developing this character and setting him up for the rest of the movie. And I think it does an excellent job setting up the character and making you understand Arthur, making you understand his descent into madness because of his mental illness, because of how society is treating him. But this is different because the pacing is slow. And I've stated before, slow pacing is good. It's fine. You could work with a slow pace because you have to set things up. Endgame had a very slow pace. It took probably an hour to get into the whole time travel stuff. Midsummer was very slow. And this movie is really slow. It felt as long as those other two movies, despite it being practically an hour shorter. This movie has a runtime of 2 hours and 2 minutes, and it definitely feels much longer because it takes a while for things to get rolling, for things to actually happen. As in, his descent into madness, because you can already tell that something's not right with him in the beginning. But besides that, I loved everything else about this movie. Now let's get into, what I like about the movie. And I'm not going to spoil the movie. I'm going to have a spoiler discussion with my friend who I saw the movie with tonight. And we're going to dive into more details about the movie later. But for now, no spoilers. I'm going to talk about what I like. What I love most about the movie is the acting by Joaquin Phoenix. Holy Christ, this guy is phenomenal in this role. This guy is amazing. I cannot imagine anyone else right now who can pull off such a role. There aren't a lot of action scenes because, this is a character study. This is the descent and the rise of this character of Arthur and Joker. Everything technical about this movie is amazing. The sound, let me talk about the sound design and the sound editing. I thought there were people around me talking. There's a shot in the movie where, you're zooming in on Arthur when he's applying the makeup to his face, because he's working as a clown. I thought people around me were talking. And I was about to tell people to shut up. But no, it was the stuff in the movie. That might be the good speakers, but, props to whoever worked on that. That was a nice touch. The cinematography is great in this film. Every location looks unique. Every set, every shot just looks amazing. You can see the detail in every scene, Each character looks well lit in every scene, no matter how dark or bright the scene is. Tops off to whoever the cinematographer is. The score is also something well mentioned. And the soundtrack's good, but let me talk about the score. And I've said this before, score is music composed for a film. And the score here really makes you feel like you're the character in the scene, or you're actually in the scene witnessing the events taking place on film, on the screen. It's amazing. Some of it does seem a little, how do I say it? They all seem alike to each other, but it all sounds amazing. The acting, not just by Joaquin Phoenix, but by everyone else in the movie, is actually really good too. There's a neighbor that Arthur has. Robert De Niro's character, who plays a talk show host, like a stand-up comedian talk show host, he does a really good job too. The woman that plays Arthur's mom is really good too. And note how I'm saying Arthur, not Joker, because you have to understand and like the character before you like their alter ego, you know? And, this is a character study. This is Arthur's movie. He becomes Joker, but, you have to understand, you have to like Arthur before anything else. And, the movie succeeds in that. Now, there was some controversy around this film about how people are going to rise up, notably incels, or any people who feel ashamed, any people who feel like outcasts, or just white people, because they're getting slandered in the news. But I don't see the film advocating for violence. This is a fictional film, telling a story about a fictional character in a fictional world, and it does that. That's it. I don't see this film telling people, telling incels, telling white people, telling outcasts, telling social outcasts, hey, go take to the streets and just wreck the city and take your anger out in that way. This is a film that tells its fictional story, and that's it. And it does a great job. I can't swear in these. I'm trying to keep these PG, This movie does raise some questions with people. I'm pretty sure there are going to be people who might not understand some things about the movie. I had some questions, but thankfully they were answered because of the movie. But all in all, I'm going to say that Joker is a phenomenal film. I am so happy I got to see this movie. I'm so glad that my expectations didn't let the movie down for me. I'm so glad that I was able to just sit back and enjoy the film. And in the end, Joker gets an A. The pacing just brings it down. I think I would have been happy enough to give this movie an A+, but an A is well deserved. Props, bravo to everyone who worked on this film. They did the best they could to tell this story the best way possible. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you would like, share this with a friend. If you did like the video, give it a like. If you saw the movie, tell me what you thought about it in the comments below. And I'm going to have more reviews up, more videos up like this soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.